Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about the percent equation. This is another method of solving percentage questions that comes from the percent proportion. So, where's my pen? Here we go. So it comes from the percent proportion where the percentage over 100, that part in my percent proportion, is written as a decimal. Now if you're unfamiliar with the percent proportion, or if you've heard about it and you can't remember what it is, we do have a separate video on that you can check out as well. So if I have, let's say maybe I have, I don't know, 25%. So if I wrote 25% over 100, if I put that in my calculator, that's just going to be 0.25. So I'm going to change the 25 over 100 into the decimal. So anytime you have a percentage, even if it's 15%, what I do is I put my decimal two places in front. So 0.15, two places in front of my number. If you had 7%, that would become 0.07 because that's like 0.07%. Okay? If you had 215%, that would be 2.15. Okay? So that's how to convert the percentages. You're welcome to use your calculator until you become comfortable with that shortcut. But I do suggest the shortcut because it will save you time. All right, the percent equation, let's show you. We've got the part here over the whole, okay, equals my new percentage. So this is my new percent as a decimal. So as a decimal, so it's no longer over 100. So I'm going to do like my cross product. So I'm going to put this over 1. So I'm going to multiply my diagonals here. So that's going to be the part equals my percent as a decimal. I'm going to just put dec times my whole, which is what I have typed out right beside it. Okay, so those are the equal statements. Okay, so this is what this becomes. And we can rearrange this equation to figure it out. Probably going to want a calculator for these notes, so go ahead and grab one if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and use this. Basically, I'm turning percentages into an equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the odd ones first, and then you'll pause and do all the even ones, and then we'll check them together. All right, so I'm going to change. So again, I'm going to start with all the odd ones, reminding myself. I'm going to change this statement here into my part equals the whole, all that. Okay, so find 45% of 50. So what I know in math is when I see of like this, it's going to mean multiplication. So if I'm looking for find, well, I don't know what I'm finding, so that's going to be my x. X equals, and that's just a variable I picked. You don't have to use x. 45%, let's make that a decimal, 0.45, of, there's my times, 50. Well, now this is just an easy calculator problem. Let's find out what that is. So I have 0.45 times 50. So x here equals 22.5. So let's see if that makes sense. If I have my part, that's my 22.5, over my whole, 50. And if you're not sure on why I'm doing that, check out our percent proportion video because it goes through a detailed explanation of that. If I do 22.5 divided by 50, I get 0.45, which is my percent right there. So I know that my answer is good to go. Cool. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with these. So I've got 256. Anytime you see is or the find, we're going to put our equal sign. 256 is what percent? There's my unknown x of times 525. You're welcome to rewrite that as 525 and then the x on the end if you're comfortable with that notation. I'm going to divide both sides by my 525. 525. All right, so let's find out what that is. I get 256 divided by 525 So I'm getting 0.4876, and then it keeps going. But I'm looking for what percent. So that means I need to convert this. So I need to move my decimal place over 2 times to make it a percentage. So when I'm moving my decimal over 2 times, I'm just multiplying by 100. So that just goes boop, boop. I just moved it over. So that's going to be 48 point, I'm going to round 48.8%. Okay. So that would be your answer because you're looking for the percent. If you left it as 0.48, you're not quite done because it does say what percentage, so I need to move that over and convert it properly. Okay, I'm going to scroll for number 5. Excuse me. There it goes. I've got 15 equals 25%, so 0.25 of unknown times what number, x. So I'm going to divide both sides by my 0.25. Okay, remember, whenever you have an unknown beside a number, if they're side by side, you divide. So side by side, divide. Anytime you have an unknown beside a number, divide by that number on both sides because they cancel out, and then you get the x alone. That way you can find out what it is. All right, 15 divided by 0.25 is 60. Okay. I forgot to go back and check number 3. I'll do that in a second. So let's check 5, make sure that it's right. So my part is 15 over 60. This was just me making sure that I did it right. So 15 divided by 60 is 0.25. If I've moved my decimal over 2 times, I get 25%. Okay, so I know this one's good. And let's go back and check number 3. Let's see. I wanted to know the percent, so I'm gonna go backwards. So if I have 256, let's try to find the whole of some number is, let's do, oops, there we go, 48.8 over 100. So that's my percent proportion. Okay, again. Going to multiply across 256 times 100, and then divided by your 48. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be an equal sign. It's supposed to be an equal sign. Oops. Oh, my calculator just got mad. Okay, there we go. Divided by 48.8. I get 524.5. That's close enough because we rounded. We had to round right there. So sometimes when you check it, it may have a little bit of a rounding error, and that's okay. That's totally fine, okay? All right, I'm gonna scroll up to 2, so that way you can go ahead and pause the video and do the even ones. I'm gonna change colors. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do these because I'm assuming you paused it and you did it. I hope so. All right, find 60%, so x equals 0.60. Now, because it's 0.60, you don't have to put the 0, just 0.6. That's still 60%. That's the same thing. There's my times, 50. So 0.6 times 15, 0.6 times 15 equals 9. So x equals 9 here. And again, if you wanted to check it, do 9 over 15. Remember, the of always goes on the bottom. So 9 over 15, whoops, calculator's mad, equals 0.6, and that was my decimal right there, or my percentage. Move it over 2 times, there's your 60%. Okay, all right. This is, again, just the check to make sure that I'm on the right track. Okay, 12 is, number 4, 12 is equals what percent, my unknown, of times 62. All right, I'm going to divide both sides by my 62. Okay, so x equals 12 divided by 62, 0.935, but I have to multiply by 100, which is just moving the decimal over 2 times. So then x here equals about 19.4%. And then same thing if you wanted to check it. You can either check the 12 or the 62. It's up to you. So if I say 12 over an unknown number equals 19.4 over 100. That's my decimal. You can do the decimal form if you prefer, but just don't put it over 100. I get 1200 divided by 19.4 and, 19.4, excuse me. All right, and I get 61.85, which would round up to 62. And again, that's because we had to round right here. So it may not be exact. If you have a TI-84, you can put the exact amount and you should be able to get the exact 62 back. So on my phone calculator, it does not do that. That's okay. All right, number 6 here, 312 is 0.73, because there's my percentage, of times what number? X. Dividing everything by that 0.73, because it's beside the X, side by side divide. I repeat myself a lot, but that's because I really want you to get it. All right, 312 divided by 0.73. That's going to be 427.4 when it's rounded. Okay. And then we can check that. So if I do 312 over 427, so 312 over 427.4, I get 0.729, and then it keeps going. So that would round up to 0.73, which if I move that up, that's going to be 73%, okay, which is exactly what I wanted. All right, so that is how to use the percent equation, okay. I hope that was helpful to you. And again, we have the percent proportion video, which is another way to solve it. As long as you have a percent question just like these, you can use either method to solve it, and you should arrive at the same answer. All right, that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you have a good one. Bye.